Hi. So today I'm just going to do what my experience was like at AEW Collision in Cardiff on Saturday, the 13th of December, just past Saturday. And I'm just going to go through the day. I'll throw some dumb pictures up and stuff like that. And yeah, just a day, a trip with me. So I left the house and got the train. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going to just wing it. I just left, got the train. I got the train from town where I live at like 9 o'clock. I left my house around 8. Had a few minutes in town to just kill time, get something to eat, got a coffee. And then I just went, I had to go from Liverpool to Crewe. And then Crewe to Cardiff. It was fun, honestly. The Liverpool to Crewe journey was like, half an hour, not even that. So that was fine. I was just listening to music on my phone. I don't know if anyone here knows football, but on the Crewe, when I was waiting for my train, I met with the infamous Arsenal fan, Ty. I seen him from a mile off. I went up and introduced myself, and he was honestly a sound guy. I can't lie. I love Ty's one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life, intentional or not. And he's actually just a sound guy. He was more interested about what the wrestling was about and just stuff like that. So he was quite interested. Bear in mind, I've got to preface this. What I was wearing on the day was the Fulham women's shirt. Now, I don't believe in buying other English clubs' shirts, but I did get this one because, one, it had the AEW sponsor and it was black and gold. So I just thought that was fun. I could wear that to wrestling. And I wore it for this one. I had that on. And then I had Danielson, number 7, representing how many world titles he won. So a lot of people asked me if I was a Fulham fan. And I was like, no. So while at Crewe, after I let Ty leave my company, I was just waiting for the train. And I seen this guy at Crewe with an AEW hat on. So I looking back on it, it was weird as hell. I went up there and pointed at his head and went, ah. And he was like, oh. And he was a bit apprehensive at first. I think he was a bit freaked out, but we sat next to each other on the train. We done a tier list of all the AEW roster. That was pretty fun. And when we got on the train, this guy was in front of us, and he as soon as we got on the train, he said, "Are you guys going to AEW Cardiff?" And we were like, "Yeah." He's wearing an AEW hat. I'm wearing an AEW shirt. So we got talking to him for a bit. He was a bit more preoccupied. He was doing something for a job. But then also, in and out, he was in the conversation. But I got his Twitter, and I got the other guy's Twitter, but he unfollowed me after I followed him, even though we said we were going to meet up at the event. So, what's that say about me? We got to Crewe after, 3-hour journey, but I didn't think that was that bad of a journey. Honestly, it kind of flew with the company I had with people. I like reading wrestling autobiographies. I brought the Young Bucks book, and I put this down a while ago, so I was aiming to reread this, and I just never got around to it because I had such company on the train, so I was quite happy about that. When we got to Crewe, the other guy who had the job, he left, and then me and the guy whose Twitter I still have, I'll put his Twitter up. Me and him went to get some food, and then he was like, "Look, I'm just gonna go," because I was in Airbnb, he was at in a normal hotel. So at this point, we got something to eat, and we were like, "Look, if I'm available, we'll meet up at the show, whatever." We never got to, sad, but so is life. So after this, I was kind of lost because I had to go. Well, I'm not lost. I had to use my phone. I had to walk through Cardiff, which Cardiff as a city was great. I thought it was a really nice city. It was very busy during the day and the night, even the night too. I don't know if it was just because of Christmas markets. The Christmas markets were nice. The city looked great, I won't lie. It was a nice looking city. It was very compact. Everything was round where I needed to be. It was quite easily convenient. Then I walked through the city centre in a monk, how they offer the books and stop by. I was listening to Kyle Fletcher's theme. So I took the earphone out and you could tell he just heard Brown House Star yell. So I was like, oh, that was weird. But he tried to offer me the book and I was like, I can't. I've got no space in my bag. I just didn't want the book. And then he was like, oh, okay. And he was trying to ask about the wrestling. He didn't have a clue. He goes, oh, who's the main event? And I was like, we don't know yet. He was like, oh, who's your favorite? I was like, Bryan Danielson. And he was like, who's that? And I was like, why ask? But then he was like, he was a very nice guy. He was a monk. I'm not a monk, I'm a punk. He used all his tricks on me. That's what he said. I'm not a monk, I'm not a punk, I'm a monk. And then he says to me, Good luck, have a nice time in Cardiff and stuff. He was a nice guy, I felt bad. And then, me, being of all my infinite wisdom, I went, Merry Christmas, walking out, and I don't know if that's, like, the right thing to say, but it was still, I don't know why, I just think that's the dumbest shit. After this point, I'm walking through Cardiff, and I'm walking towards the Airbnb. The Airbnb wasn't too far, it was like, just a few roads around the uni part of the city. I got it, and I knocked outside the door, and then no one answered, so I messaged the guy on the phone. And then after that, so I seen some guys just walked right next to me. They had 3, tellies, it looked like 3 boxes of, small telly monitors. So I was like, and he was clearly losing grip on one, and I went, do you want a hand? And he was like, no, the guy's opened the door. Then I look forward, the guy has opened the door and let him in. So I'm like, what? And then the guy who's open, he goes, no more guys. And I was like, oh, what? Too early? And then he was laughing and he said, come in. And then he gave me the information. I went to my room. The room was literally like Harry Potter's room in the first Harry Potter. It was a bed. It was just a bed, and then I had a shower and a toilet, but I could barely move. Honestly, it was insane. It was perfect for me because I just wanted to go there, because this was around 3 o'clock, so I just wanted to kind of just drop my stuff. 3 o'clock. No, it was about 2:30, I think, and I just wanted to drop my bags off because I had my stayover bag. And just wanted to go to the arena to see, because I wanted to make sure to get the Blacksmith merch, which they advertised, because at London earlier this year, 02, at Forbidden Door, we missed the Kenny Omega shirt, and I'm still upset about that. But so is life. So I left, and I drop my bags off, leave, come back, and go towards the city centre then at this point. And I just walked to the arena. Now, the arena's just in the middle of nowhere. It was like a 10-minute walk, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? Just it said the arena's here, and I was like, is that it? And it was just a big arena. Comparing it to the OVO High in Glasgow this year, that's what I was comparing it to, and it was vastly different. And then, this is what's wild. I'm walking over the road, and then I just look to this guy on the side, and I he's on the phone, he's got a suitcase, and I'm like, that's Michael Oku. And it was Michael Oku and his wife, whose name I forget, but it was 100%, it was Michael Oku, because, he was on his phone. I was going to stop him, but, on his phone. So I was like, okay, well, that's got to be Michael Oku, so this has got to be it. I walked to the front. I shit you not. Guess who walks past me? I could not believe who walked past me. Fucking Konosuke Takeshita walked past me. I was like, what? Whoa. And I had to double take. I was like, that's not Takeshita. And he had his headphones on, so I was pissed. I was like, oh, no way. I would have went up for a picture with Takeshita if he didn't have his headphones on, but he walked from the wrong way. That's what people told me. So I was like, okay, so this has got to be it. So I went to see if I could go in or just look for a merch stand. The guy's like, you've got 2 hours, 3 hours till, till the doors open. Just, find somewhere to be and you'll be in fit, try and get online early. I was like, okay, fine. I just didn't want to miss the merch. Stupid by me. I don't think it's sold out, but whatever. So I walk back round, just, looking for something to do. This old woman's there, she was just, out of breath. I was like, are you okay? And she was like, oh, yeah. I don't know what the voice is, but she just goes, oh, are you from Liverpool? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, I love a Liverpoolian accent. I'm looking for my coach. And I was like, I've just seen the coach there. That got to be it. And she said, oh, all right. And I said, do you want a hand? So she's walking with me. She's got me hand linked. She's walking with me. And then a mate comes down, another old woman, and she's like proper baffled. And she's like, I'll leave her for 5 minutes. And I was like, what can you say? She's pulled, being jovial. And she's like, oh, we're going to South of Wales if you want to come. And I was like, I'm not coming, I've got the wrestling here. And she just, as soon as I said that, her face changed. And I forgot to say, so when I see Michael Oku, I walk around the front to get to the door. Now, I seen this, an older woman and an old gentleman, a couple, and they were like, oh, they noticed the AEW on my Fulham shirt. So they were like, oh, he must be going to the show and asking me about this stuff. And, got talking to them. They were very nice. And, that was it. But that comes into part later. So, I go back around. I'm walking around after, leaving this lady. And I see, just a little group of people. So I'm like, okay, so they've got to be waiting for something. I don't know if they were autograph hunters or not. But the one guy had the big signed shirt, so I assume so. But I was like, these are at least going to be people to talk to for an hour or two. So there's that, and there was a group of us just talk about AEW. I feel like I was the only extrovert there. I'm not even an extrovert. But I was like talking to them. This kid there. I was asking everyone. A lot of people were saying their favorite wrestler was Bryan Danielson. I don't know if that was, I don't know if that was a peer pressure thing because I had Danielson written on my fucking back. But whatever. And as soon as I got there, I seen Orange Cassidy walk past me through there. So I was like, oh shit! So I've just missed Orange Cassidy. That's pretty cool. So I'm just standing there talking to the people, talking about AEW events and stuff like that. All nice people. There's this dad and his son. His son had like a proper camera. He was clearly into it. I was asking him his favorite wrestlers like John Cena. And obviously he was talking to Cena match. There was this guy who was like, who had a beret and like a bit of a grey mustache. He was cool. There was this other guy who was like silent, staring on, but he was good. All the guys were cool. And then this other guy, he was like the main one. He was clearly like, he was the most lively, lack of a better term. He was really in a great mood. And then this young girl and her mother joined like not long after, and she had like a pretty cool jacket. So you just get talking to people and stuff. And it turns out she was a massive Kevin Knight and Darby Allin fan. This is important. So, just standing there talking, we see Tekla go through, we see the odd bit of, Trent Seven. Now, that's my arch nemesis, walk right past us, and that's another story for another day. I'll talk about that is my genuine arch nemesis, Trent Seven. We're not friends, but he walked right past us, just a few people, so we're like, what the hell's going on here? So then, not major, mainly refs, Trent Seven and Cassidy are the main ones that walk past us, but then the highlight of the day for most people, including probably my highlight of the night besides the show, was so Tekla got out the car and didn't acknowledge us and just walked straight in. And so I think there was someone else. Who was it? I think it was a ref. It wasn't Aubrey. We seen Aubrey. Aubrey was cool, but she was later on. But point is, someone come in and said hello to all of the fans, stood there, took pictures of every single one. It was TNT champ Mark Briscoe. So I have got a picture with Mark Briscoe. I was very happy. I asked him after that picture, I said, oh, what's the word of the day? And he didn't understand my accent. But then he goes, what is the word of the day? And he goes, you're going to have to wait and see. I was like, I said, Mark, don't tease me. And then he laughed, I laughed. And then we walked in, whatever. I did not get the word of the day for that entire day. I'm pissed. I want my word of the day, Mark Briscoe. You have been warned. I want my word of the day. But also, thank you for the picture. You're a very cool guy. So we're a Mark Briscoe pro channel now, obviously. We was anyway. What am I on about? So after this, no one else really come. That was like the main. After Briscoe, there was no one else basically. So then we went back around the front talking to people. And this girl, the young girl, the Kevin Knight fan, she was with her mother, if I didn't say. She was looking to get in because she had paid for the VIP experience. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't really know. I only knew you had to go around the front because that's where I went and they told me to come back. But she said they had early access. So I was like, okay, go around the front. They couldn't find it. So I said, look, I'll go around the front because it was getting to that time where I wanted to get in line anyway. So we walk around. Bear in mind, this entire day, after I got off the train, I didn't have my coat on, and it was fucking freezing. So I was just wearing a Fulham short sleeve shirt. I think it was just to show off the Brian on the back. I can't lie, but whatever. And walking around, we just freezing. And then we got in the line. I was like, just ask there. And then there was the other side, so she went in with her mother. Went okay over there. I was like, glad to help. Then I'm in line, and I see this older gentleman, another older guy, but not as old, like not, just middle-aged guy, and this young girl who's with the older gentleman. They were cool. We were talking. The middle-aged gentleman was from Germany, so he was from Bremen, and he was cool. And then the other two were from Cardiff. Yeah, the amount of times I heard throughout the entire day, I went to Clash the Castle. I do. Fair enough, cool, that's great, but this is AEW country. No, but jokes aside, the amount of people that said Clash the Castle was ridiculous. But I was standing with them talking in line, just basic talking. We ended up talking about football for a good bit. Just got talking. Then we ended up talking. This other guy come in, and he was a WWE fan. I thought this was really interesting. He was mainly WWE fan, but he got these tickets for very cheap. He had nothing else to do and just drove up. And he got free space. He got 2 extra tickets. I was like, that's pretty cool. And he was just cool, just talking. He's showing him pictures. He worked at an exchange store, and he got a Fiend belt dropped in, and I thought that was really cool. I would, if anyone knows this guy, I would like, he was sick. He didn't take. He's got to wait 30 days. He said, but like a Fiend belt signed by Bray Wyatt and up to £100. It was an insane story. He had a bunch of stuff to show, and then so we're waiting to go in. And then the young girl is obviously on the side. Her mother walks back and she was like, oh, hey, she got in fine. I'm just leaving her now. I'm just going to find somewhere to go. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. I realised, because Ticketmaster and me are like the worst combination imaginable. So I had to book 2 tickets to go to this Collision. And then I've booked an extra one, including mine, for Dynamite on Wednesday. So if anyone's interested, let me know. But also... So I just realised, I said, hang on, I've got a spare ticket by me. You can just come in with me if you want. She was like, are you sure? I was like, it's going to waste, by all means. And then, so I was like, trying to transfer it, because at this point, my phone is like bad. So like the battery was going very low, and I was like very perceiving. That's why there was less pictures throughout the night of the show. So I give her the phone, give her the ticket, tried to transfer it. It wouldn't work. So like, what the fuck? What do we do? And then she was, the blood guy was like, I've got 2 other tickets if it doesn't work. So like, that'll work. But I was like, hang on a minute, I should just kept it on my phone and just scanned us both in. And we eventually got it to work. It was a stressful, 20 minutes. But she was lovely. We went and met her daughter inside. She was on the ground floor. The stadium, so once we're inside, first thing I did was buy the Blacksmith Swerve Strickland shirt. The only shirt they were selling was the Swerve Strickland shirt. I thought they were going to sell a Kenny one and stuff, but whatever. I got the Swerve one. It's a really nice shirt. And I got this Brodito one, which, big Brodito guy, but also... I like saving art to my phone, on my photos, and I have this literal piece saved on my phone. So to get it on a shirt was really cool. And then we went in, we met her daughter. Her daughter had met Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And, just tell us about her VIP experience. It was good to locate her. And then the stadium was a lot smaller than what I expected, a lot more compact. So... she was on the floor. She had got a really good seat. She was literally on the ramp. You probably see her on the TV recording. She had ginger hair, and she was on the floor. But we were on the stand. But we were still at a good seat. It was we were just on the in the Cardiff Stadium. It's not bang 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 different tiers. It was just one tier and then the boxes essentially. We were just on the tier, but it wasn't a bad seat. It was really good view. The pictures don't do it justice, I found. But, so the mother was able to locate the kid and stuff. That was great. And then, we just sat and watched the match. There was this guy, and he was, how do I put this? He was a large gentleman, I will say this, but he was right in front of the woman next to me. So she was struggling to see and stuff. So we were going, the match, the card was great, but also beforehand, we got 2 matches on ROH Global Wars. We got, the first match was the Michael Oku match versus Mark Davis. That was really good. And then the second, no, it wasn't Michael Oku versus Mark Davis. I forget. Point is, we got Michael Oku, we got Mark Davis, and then, I forget what the other one was, but then the AEW Collision happened. That you can watch that as a separate video. And throughout the night, it was fine. We had people around. There was nothing crazy. The rather large gentleman in front of us, he was a bit kooky, to say the least. I don't know if he was one too many or what. But then also, after the night, so Tony come out before the show, before everything, and announced they were going to bring back AEW Dark for tonight. So the crowd loved that. They announced AEW Dark stock and stuff. And that was great. That was after the show. So we watched the 2 matches from ROH Global Wars, then the main Collision, then the rest of ROH Global Wars, which was fine. It was a bit, it was whatever. Alex Windsor come out, and that was the main thing people give a shit about. But what you expect. And then after that, we got the AEW Dark matches, which were great. So there was the matches themselves. I'm trying to think the ROH ones. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were good. The AEW Dark ones, you thought I was excited. I got to see Mascara Dorada wrestle. Yeah! Go out with the conglomeration on that match with Cassidy and Roddy. And that was fun. I forget who that was against. Then we got Marina versus Isla Dawn. That was great. And then these guys behind us, they were pretty funny. They were complaining about the Arsenal match and stuff, and then just making funny little comments. And they said, oh yeah, GYV are going to be here, there's the Death Riders, and like, as a joke, that's what happened, but like, no one expected it to be John Moxley, so when John Moxley come out, everyone was like, oh shit. And the woman next to us, bless her, she was a massive John Moxley fan, so that was great. It was a good night for her, because she had, her daughter was obsessed with, she's a massive Kevin Knight fan, obviously, and she got a picture with Kevin Knight. That was pretty cool to see. We seen her after the show. Then we had, then her son, she was telling me, was a massive Orange Cassidy fan. She got to see Orange Cassidy wrestle. And then she was a massive John Moxley fan. So when John Moxley came out, I was like, oh shit. I felt a bit embarrassed when Dorada come out when I was next to this strange woman. I was like, well, that strange woman, a stranger to me. Oh, that was funny as hell. I was going, it's Dorada! I was just geeking out. And then when Moxley come out, the crowd just livened up. It was great. The crowd were great all night. It was a laugh. Really was, as you expect from an AEW show. But the main thing was, it was Moxley, Pac, and Yuta. So the main thing was, everyone was chanting Moxley, give us a wave. And he and he didn't know what we were saying. You could clearly see it. And he goes to Pac saying, what did they say? And Pac tells him, he starts laughing and just basically fucks it off. That was hilarious. And then people cheering for Pac hometown. The match was fine. It was honestly, I'm just happy. Danny Garcia in that match is hilarious because he's like, he wasn't far, but we're quite higher up compared to the floor. So you just hear Danny Garcia from like all the way down there. That's right. Like just being a big mouth. Oh, I love Danny Garcia. He's hilarious. His game's just elevated. And then after the match, they done a little spot where it was where it was like every one of them going to corner. Everyone was cheering, we love you, Moxley, we do. That was great. I really enjoyed that because who doesn't love John Moxley? And they kept going up to the corner, and then everyone like do a cheering Pac, cheering Moxley. Whenever Yuta done it, they were booing Yuta, and they were going, "Go on, Yuta, do it again." And they were doing like him, then Pac. So it's that type of deal. It was fun. That was the end of the show. The wrestling was great. I won't deny that. The wrestling was great. So I feel like I've just skimmed over that, but the journey for me was really interesting in general. Tony come out, said the same thing for like the 16th time, but then wished us all a safe wish home. That was great. I got outside, left the daughter and mother. They were pretty cool because my phone was dying at this point. That's why the pictures for the Mark Briscoe entrance in the other video, if you watched it, they were a bit different. They were like, because I went to run and see if they had a portable charger. They never. So I went, okay, I had to just firm it. My phone was at like 10%. So I was like, shit, I can't really record too much. So then I went to a mall, like a shopping centre over the road. They had the portable chargers. That wasn't working for like 10 minutes, whatever. Then like I got out to work. I'm sitting there for like half an hour just charging my phone so I can then walk home. And Lord, lo and behold, after a great night, I lost my bank card. So I had to cancel my bank card. I know exactly what happened. It fell out my pocket when I was at the arena. So I didn't want to go back because I knew they wouldn't let me in. And I should have messaged my good friend Mark Briscoe saying, hey, I can't find my bank card. Can you check it? But I cancelled it. It was all fine. But my worry was, shit, this isn't going to work for tomorrow. It did. But yeah, so I charged my phone. And then I was like, okay, let people know I was safe. Walked back to the Airbnb. It was about 11 o'clock, 10:30. No, the show finished at 10:30. So I got back to like walking back about 11, 11-ish. And I just go to this, there was a KFC open at 12:30. I was like, what? So I went there, ordered a meal. It took about 20 minutes to wait for the meal. Went and sat back down. And then this guy comes over and goes, hi, you can't sit there. I was like, why? He says, we're closing now, they're seating. I was like, fine, whatever. So I'm just left. When I walk out, there was a group of people sitting down. He wouldn't kick them out. Bullshit. So when I get outside, bear in mind, it's like 11:30 in a city I don't know. I'm freezing. And I'm just eating this KFC. And these two guys, clearly drunk, were talking to me. And they were talking about football. The new AEW and just about sports. They were lovely guys. Spoke to them for like an hour. So then I left them after an hour. They invited me to stay up. But I was like, guys, I'm wearing a Fulham shirt. I've got to go. And I was tired at this point. I really was. Because my plan was to maybe watch the John Cena match. But when I got back, I was like, I can't. I got back to the B&B about like 20 to 1 in the morning. Slept in like the bed that was the entire room. Woke up and basically made my way home. The way home wasn't as interesting and stuff. So that's where I'll leave the story. But overall, AEW Cardiff as a whole, the experience for me personally, but the show, everything was great. I've been to a few AEW shows. This is my second time being to a TV taping of AEW, and it was excellent. The amount of fans, the people I met, they were excellent. I will never deny that. They were great people. I wish I got more people's socials. If you recognise me, follow. But genuinely, it was great. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I hope I see a lot more people there. I asked a lot of people to go on the Manchester show. Some people said yes, some people said no. So I'll try and see if I can find some of those people too. But honestly, phenomenal experience and a story to tell, definitely. Were you at AEW Cardiff this week? What did you think of the experience? Did you meet me? Did you see me? But honestly, great job. Never been to an AEW TV taping. From these last two experiences, you gotta go. It's so fun, and the people are genuinely lovely. Pleasure to meet everyone who was there, who I met.